Each propeller tip is shooting out fire about 2 feet long. One time I was ferrying an Aerostar from Arizona to Cyprus, and had a couple things on that one. You know, the first thing that happened was my very first leg. I'm getting over to the Rockies. It's at night. A couple of big line of thunderstorms in front of me, and I didn't want to stop. I wanted to make it home. Got that get home-itis thing. And I'm looking at, I've got a storm scope, and I can see two big towering thunderheads in front of me in the moonlight. You know, I'm still in clear air, and I'm looking, there's this gap in there. I'm like, you know, I think I can clear that gap. And I'm by myself in a pressurized Aerostar, you know, like I can get up to 23,000 feet. You know, I think I can make that gap. And so I shoot for it, and I got the storm scope, and I can see lightning strikes on either side, but they're quite a ways off to the side, so it looks like I got a nice clear gap in between some thunderstorms. And as I get closer, that looks like I'm actually not going to make it over those clouds, but there's still nothing in front of me. It's just clouds, so it's like, okay, no big deal. And I pile into the clouds and immediately go into snow, which is cool. I always like flying in snow. Turn the landing lights on. It looks like you're in the Millennium Falcon, you know, like lights, warp speed, hyperdrive. And turn that off and just kind of chilling for a while. And then I notice, there's the compass that's sitting on the glare shield, and out of the top two corners there's a couple metal screws, and sparks are shooting out of the top of that thing like little fans, like shooting out about 6 inches, like going, holy crap, that's weird. And then I look at the windshield, and all of a sudden big Tesla snakes of, you know, electricity, multicolored electricity, are going all over the windscreen. I'm like, holy crap. And then I look at the prop, and on the Aerostar, the propeller's right there, and each propeller tip is shooting out fire about 2 feet long, and just like both wingtips or both propeller tips are just two, you know, Christmas trees of fire. Like, oh crap. And now I'm particularly scared at this point because the year prior I'd actually been struck by lightning in a 206 over the ocean. So I didn't want that to happen again. And, you know, I'm looking at it. And then I look at the storm scope, and what had been a clear area in front of me, all of a sudden I see boop, 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 more lightning strikes from, like, crap, boom, full power. Try to climb out of this stuff. ATC starts calling saying, hey, where are you going? I'm like, I'm not keying the mic. I'm not doing anything electric. I don't want to, you know, draw lightning in here. And I just put the spurs to her. They're yelling and screaming. I go blasting through at 25,000 feet, shoot out of the top of this thing into the moonlight, and the two huge thunderstorms are on either side of me. And at that point, I go, hey, ATC, sorry about that. Had a little St. Elmo's fire issue going on there back then, and didn't want to get struck by lightning. So, and that was just the first leg of this trip. I mean, that was crazy enough, but you know, I get all the way to London, pick up the owner of the plane in Biggin Hill. We fly to Zurich, gas up there, and then literally we got 2 legs left. We got to get over the Alps, refuel in Greece, and go to Cyprus. And looking at the forecast, there's, you know, clouds. Zurich was IFR, and they're calling for light to moderate icing over the Alps. But like I've said in the past, you know, I'm young and invincible, and I got a pressurized, turbocharged Aerostar, fully de-iced, no ice capability, you know, heated windshield, props, boots. Why would I wait? Let's go for it. And there's just 2 of us in the plane. It's a 6-passenger plane. We didn't have that much bags, full fuel, but not a big deal. So we take off out of Zurich, immediately in the clouds, and about, 5 minutes into it or so, start picking up ice. Now, Zurich sits at the base of the Alps, kind of in this big valley, and the Alps are like right there. So it's kind of a steep. You need to climb quickly to get over the Alps. And the route we were taking, the minimum crossing altitude was 19,000 feet. So it's up there. And we start picking up ice, and you know, I let it build up on the boots for a little bit, you know, and the owner's next to me, and he's from Cyprus, so he don't know from ice. He's not a real experienced pilot anyway, and he's getting pretty nervous. I go, watch this. The ice goes off the wings, like, cool, you know, and I got the heated windshield going, the props are going, everything's working fine. Looks like we're going to make it no problem. And then the climb rate starts dropping off, which is to be expected. The higher you get, the air's thinner, the plane's going to perform a little worse, but it's turbocharged, so it shouldn't drop off that much. But it did. And it kept dropping off, and it kept dropping off, and it kept dropping off. And at a certain point, we were only down to about 200 feet a minute, and it didn't look like I was going to make my crossing altitude. And I really had a decision to make. It's like, well, do I abandon this? Do I turn around and run downhill back into Zurich, which was probably the smart option. Have to fly back through that ice again, but it still was doing okay. Or do I try to ease it over the top? I knew once I got over the top of the Alps, I can descend back down into the Mediterranean, nice warm air, melt any ice off. So I decided to keep going. Climb rate keeps dropping, gets to about 50 feet a minute. I'm just barely hanging on, and I'm so close. I'm like 1,000 feet short, and I know that they give you a little bit of a buffer. Actually, I was probably more like 500 feet short. And I decided I'm going to have to sacrifice some of my air altitude for airspeed, because the plane was starting to get a little sloppy. The back end's getting a little mushy, and I'm, it's just like going, whoa, this is bad. I think I pushed this one too far. What I think happened was it felt like I had a big basketball-sized chunk of ice on the tail beacon or something like that. It just built up so much there. And I know when they've got their minimum crossing altitudes, that's not like the rock isn't at 19,000 feet. They give you some room. So I figured I've got a little bit to play with here. Started a very slow descent, just enough to keep control of the plane. The owner next to me, he's starting to get a little nervous. He wanted to start freaking out, and I basically told him, you just need to be quiet, because that's not going to help. And told ATCs, like, I'm not going to make 19,000, and I'm going to keep going. And they agreed, and sneaked over the top of the Alps and back down. And as soon as we started heading downhill, all the problems were over. Airspeed built up. Didn't take long to get into warmer air and melt all the ice off. And another beautiful day over the Mediterranean. So I love ferry flying. You get to have all kinds of fun.